The greatest lie in human history is that the pyramid were built by Pharaoh Khufu of Egypt. KAHEVA knows the secret behind pyramid construction. And you might say like, no, here we go again. Don't waste your intellectual energy on absurd ideas like the pyramid being a UFO landing site. Do you buy that? Even. The stones of the pyramid were never shaped with hammers, boom boom. Hammers? Guys, seriously? Personally, my family has inherited the secrets of pyramid construction from our ancestors. Of course, we also know the secret of eternal life. Hello everyone, this is KAHEVA, all knowledge of the world, head, heart, and soul. Before we begin, I would like to mention that I think I caught some cold. It is about to turn into summer, but we are suddenly have a winter-like weather here in Korea. So please understand, I might sound a little bit different from the other days because I got a little bit of cold. Yeah, let's do it anyways because this stuff is interesting. Before we move on, before we move on, the secret of eternal life has been revealed. So KAHEVA will now speak about it first. A human personality consists of 3 parts. First is the genetic personality inherited from one's parents. Second is the personality shaped by environment, such as education, religion, and food, what you eat. Third is the personality installed by God. In other words, it's a downloaded personality. Only those who possess the personality installed by God can attain eternal life. Downloading this personality takes about 3 to 10 days. This is no joke. Let me repeat it. If KAHEVA gains more than 5 million subscribers, she will reveal the secrets about pyramid construction, the secrets about the stones. The method of processing pyramid stones is very simple. Of course, KAHEVA is not the only one who knows the secret of pyramid construction. I'm not the only one. Edward Lydd-Skolnian he's being mentioned on KAHEVA's channel for more than several times, who built the Coral Castle in Florida, also knew this secret. Slaves of knowledge endlessly claim that the ancients carved and shaped the stones of Angkor Wat in Cambodia, the Incan structures in Peru, and the pyramids. This is a lie. Underneath the pyramids were artificial waterways. So the pyramids produced electricity using the ram pump method. The Giza Plateau, where the pyramids are located, was situated on high ground. It rarely rained there. Naturally, it was a facility to draw river water up to higher elevations. I think even though it is a little bit difficult to understand by now, maybe you keep watching this, keep on listening to what I'm saying. I will repeat it for a little bit for your understanding, and maybe watch this video for a couple of more times and you will get it. So don't give up. Bear with me. Inside the pyramid, pipes were installed where water moved with strong pressure up and down through copper channels. And remember this word, copper. The pyramids provided both water and electricity to the city of Giza. People of that era turned that region into a water city. In simple terms, it's like turning the desert city of Saudi Arabia into a city of water, which we are even incapable of. Likewise, archaeological sites made of stone like Angkor Wat in Cambodia and Machu Picchu in Peru were not crafted using hammers. Many subscribers have asked KAHEVA to explain the massive artificial structures discovered beneath the pyramid. And Yachid said Shout out from Michigan, America, 17722. Maybe it's a postal code. Is KAHEVA going to cover the latest discoveries under the Egypt pyramids? Please do. Okay. Flying Guillotine what? Flying Guillotine 22 said, "Hey KAHEVA, they found a huge structure under the pyramids." That's what we are talking about today. The greatest lie in human history is that the pyramids were built by Pharaoh Khufu of Egypt. Yeah. And I'm not trying to be funny here. Make sure. The era of Khufu was not the Iron Age. It was the Bronze Age. Bronze, as you know, it is softer than stone. You cannot carve stone with soft bronze. It is easy. 1 + 1, it is that easy. Elementary school textbooks around the world falsely teach that Pharaoh Khufu built the pyramids. This lie breeds the slaves of knowledge and slaves of death. Archaeologists who don't know the truth deceive using the past. Religious leaders who don't know the truth deceive using the future. To avoid being deceived, you must know the truth about the past and the future from the present. Humans were created about 6,000 years ago as immortal beings with the freedom of choice. Zelensky of Ukraine was manipulated by France, the Sodom of France, into going to war with Russia, leading people into the valley of death. Likewise, humans who were created for eternal life were deceived by Lucifer, and they chose death. Death is sin. Death is sin. It is not the other way around. It is not that sin leads to death. Death led to the acts of sin. Even though humans chose death 4,000 years ago, they still lived over 500 years on average. Back then, all humans were geniuses. First, the most advanced science was genetic engineering. They developed genetic engineering to overcome the problem of death. Genetic engineering was also developed for war and pleasure. That pleasure. The second most developed technology was architecture. Using natural stone, artificial stone, and wood, which was as strong as stone, they built aesthetically beautiful, marvelous structures. For about 2,000 years after creation, magnificent structures existed in places like modern-day Turkey, Greece, and Egypt. They were more artistic, beautiful, and harmonious with nature than any modern building. The massive stone coffins we see today were not made by the Egyptians. They were created by geniuses who lived over 500 years. About 4,000 years ago, which is 2,000 years after human creation, the God of creation destroyed all scientific civilizations with water, together with humanity. The beautiful structures made of stone and wood were swept away by floods that brought down mountains. All electrical technology, genetic engineering technology, and mechanical civilization perished. The human lifespan was reduced to 120 years. And with the death of scientific civilization, humanity entered the Stone Age. So forget the idea about humans always consistently developing phase by phase. After the flood ended, nearly all people were wiped out. I said nearly all. For over 1,000 years, only a few humans lived on Earth. They picked up collapsed stone pillars and slabs and used them for building because you have nothing. It's like just imagine the post-apocalypse movie. In that movie, people use all the remains of our modern society. Like they pick up some tires and they make some new cars because they don't really have the exact technology or any resource to do that. So all they can do is just to use the remains. So that movie's idea that idea itself is not bad. They picked up collapsed stone pillars and slabs and used them for building. The Hagia Sophia Cathedral, yeah, that one in Turkey, was reconstructed using processed pillars and stone slabs, the remains from before Noah's flood period of time when all the people were born geniuses and where the average lifespan was 500 years. That is why the pillars or floor marbles in the Hagia Sophia are all different. All of them. Not even one of them is identical to one another. Let me again tell the truth about the pyramids. The pyramids were built around 4,000 years ago, before the Great Flood. And they were landmarks that survived the flood. Inside the pyramids were rampams, a part of the perpetual motion system that used water. What you asked KAHEVA, the one who lives with head, heart, and soul, you asked me about the underground structure of the pyramid. And now we're going to talk about it. You know our style, right? We are getting used to it. Now, there were no deserts in Turkey, Saudi Arabia, or Egypt. You might say like, KAHEVA is she okay? Yes. Let's continue. The land, the places that I just mentioned, was filled with trees and greenery. Dew fell every dawn, and groundwater was abundant. It rarely rained. Tall buildings were unnecessary, and beautiful stone structures harmonized with nature. They were more beautiful than any architecture today. Giza, where the pyramids are located, was also a green land. Giza's pyramids were in a city of water. Because the pyramids is the heaviest structure in the world, its foundation had to be solid, of course. Otherwise, it would have tilted and collapsed. To prevent this, tilting and collapsing, the geniuses, who lived more than 500 years, built the foundation with stone alone without using iron. These stones, the stones, were processed mixture of iron and copper because they wanted microelectricity to pass through the stone and make it stronger. Electricity has a positive and negative pole, a hot line and a neutral line. These stones acted as neutral lines. Microelectricity that exists in the nature flew through it. Even today, Dubai's Burj Khalifa sends electricity into its underground foundation pillars to prevent collapse. As I said, microelectricity, the current is very weak. Even today, water and gas pipes are made from materials that allow a slight bit of electrical current to flow. The purpose is to prevent corrosion. Around the pyramid 4,000 years ago, there were the greatest human structures and artworks scattered across the hills. There was a web of electrical pipes and waterways underground around the pyramid. Let me say it again. The Giza area where the pyramid stands rarely saw rain. However, groundwater and the Nile were abundant, and morning dew sufficiently moistened the soil too. The rooms where people lived were decorated with aromatic wood, hundreds of years old, keeping insects away. Due to the floods that brought down mountains, the flood, mud and sand swept away all life, trees, and stones. The underground facilities of the pyramid were completely filled with sand by now. With the flood, all scientific civilizations perished. Even 1,000 years after the destructive flood, the global population did not increase because the land was desolate and the seeds of many healthy fruits were not preserved. Many species of animals and delicious fruits disappeared from the earth. In conclusion, there are certainly stone pillars under the pyramid made by mixing iron and copper. And there are two water storage tanks that is in the size of Olympic swimming pools. We're not talking about the regular swimming, it's the Olympic size swimming pools. However, they are now filled with water and mud because of the Great Flood. For reference, all modern buildings have underground water tanks. External water pipes are not the ones that send water to those each sectors of that building, each stairs of that building, each floors of the building. External water pipes do not send water directly to each apartment, right? All the water used in high-rise buildings is stored underground and they are pumped up to each floor. Again, don't waste your intellectual curiosity on mystery or mysticism. KAHEVA's message is science and truth. Don't waste your intellectual energy on absurd ideas like the pyramid being a UFO landing site. This is KAHEVA. See you in the next video. God bless you.